Welcome back to Liquidity and Liquor. This is Yosef and Scott. We're asking one question. The last Tulips, did we just experience Tulips? For those who don't know, it's a term where you said there was a big bubble that burst. That was in 1800 or 1700 where people were buying tulips, the actual flowers, the seeds for them, and they get overpriced, and people put everything they have, and eventually they lost it all because they found out it's nothing but tulips. It's just tulips. And it's a phrase that happens more often now than ever because I guess someone made it popular, I would say about 2 years ago or so on. In the 80s, if you would tell someone about that, unless he's a historian, he wouldn't know what it is. So we're asking, what is the last bubble in another way, right? And we're talking about NFT since it was a thing and now no one talks about this. It died like an old man with no family by themselves, stink in the bathroom, and then one day the neighbor said, why does it stink in this building? And they said, oh, because that old man died. And now you go and you open up the door.
The
and
old man's the NFT?
Like, was that what happened to the NFT? And that's the question I'm asking. The only one that would know that answer, there's no one else except Scott DeClary that's going to answer
There's a lot of people that know the answer better than me. But I'll tell you what actually happened. So you look at like Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they raised a whole bunch of money on NFTs, and they put out NFTs, and they were one of the first movers in the market. And a lot of people bought NFTs from Bored Ape Yacht Club because, well, Bored Ape Yacht Club is going to say because they promised so much value, but the average person that bought it is probably going to say because they wanted to make more money and flip that. And that's why crypto had issues.
It's a player versus player. It's no different than casino, which it is Tulips. Eventually, when you look at NFTs, you say, right, look, it's
Bored
smart.
Ape Yacht Club launched a project, and then after they sold millions of dollars of NFTs and people made some money off those NFTs, then they started building a business that...
Yeah, but we're not talking about Bored Ape Yacht Club. Bored Ape Yacht Club was the big one.
But even then,
that's kind of like a representation.
They backfilled the business after the token was launched.
But does the business have any value now like before?
Bored Ape does.
What's their value?
A lot of it has to do with event access.
Yeah, who's going to those events?
People that own the NFTs.
Okay, but then what is the value if those people don't exchange the NFTs like before, if there is no money coming in?
Then I guess they get a lifetime of events.
Okay, are they really going to have events? I mean, that's the thing that I'm asking. Like, okay,
well,
so you're taking a project, you make it into a company. I get that part, right? But that's
a lot
not
of people
NFT.
had projects. A lot of people had projects.
But that's not NFT. So you're basically saying, all right, look, on the back of those
the picture was supposed to be like the ticket.
No. That wasn't supposed to be just a thing. It was supposed to be a picture that's going to have a lot of value, and you can exchange it, and you can get royalty. And then if you have it, you have other. That was the way for them to push it. But NFT is not about events, right? It's different, right? So NFT is a digital contract where you say, okay, it sits on the blockchain. No one can. All right, good, great. Somehow there is a derivative of that turned into
pictures.
To money behind this. But wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. So then it became into a bubble where. And what I'm asking behind all this, I'm asking is really not about Bored Ape or so on, because now, are you going to pay, at the peak, a regular base Bored Ape was $200,000 for a freaking image that today you understand gives you no real rights. And if you actually read through the documents over there, you can't even use it for commercial reasons. It's not, you don't even gain those rights. But people bought them because it was really over player versus player. It's like, it's a music culture, and eventually someone's going to lose money.
Yeah.
And that was... And what I asked myself, I said, well, I see a lot of influential people that are still influential that were promoting the crap out of Bored Ape. Not Bored Ape, I'm sorry, NFT. And you would see Gary Vee day in, day out, telling you how everything is going to be with NFT. You're going to have receipts that you can have NFT, and people are going to keep the receipts. It's like, and perhaps he believed all that. And he did say, look, eventually it's going to die down, but I'm going to buy them. And I believe that, and the reason you don't hear anyone talks about that, it's because they subconsciously or consciously know that it was Tulips.
It was Tulips.
And it was, no one is going to buy this. It was, even when you look at art, when someone makes an art, you don't argue on the fact that I own my Picasso. It is mine. I keep it in my garage, and that's it. Today, people said, well, when we explain that a digital image is yours just like a Picasso, was a bunch of bullshit. Anyone can use it, and it doesn't actually claim you the rights that you thought it can give it. It lost in court, apparently. So it's like, especially if it's a generated image by a computer, and you have 10,000 of those fucking images. If Picasso was pushing 10,000 pictures, do you think Picasso would have been Picasso? Do you think Van Gogh would have been Van Gogh? Do you think they would have had that value? But yet again, they go to a generated image and people would sell it.
Because people also don't understand what gives art value, which is why they were confused about what gave NFTs value outside of hype and FOMO.
What gives art the value? But I mean, that's a different topic.
That's a whole different topic.
So anyway, I wonder where all those people that pushed NFT as if it's, and then they're all quiet right now, and people still follow them.
But I want to say something. I think there's two people that pushed NFTs. There's the people that had a vested interest because they were building a project around it, and then there's people and maybe influencers that were paid by those companies to push them, and then there's people that were probably the same people that talk about AI today.
Why do you think it's the same with AI?
No, because of people that ride trends. They ride trends. They speak about trends.
Yeah, but why would they do it if they don't have vested interest?
Because they want eyeballs. Why did people talk about crypto if they don't have?
Well, those are it's the same people. You're not saying it's the same people.
Yeah.
So, well, look, first of all, the main thing for me is that when you would ask, I remember Joe Rogan, someone told him, that's NFT. What is it? What do I do with that? It's yours. And he started laughing. And people would look at you as an uneducated, you don't understand, this is going to be big. People are going to pay for it. Like, no, I don't understand because you're not even coherent enough to explain in simple terms. Why? Why is it different? If your computer makes me 10,000 in a flash like this, how do you think there is real value to it?
I'm telling you, I think
there is a scarcity. When Van Gogh died, that's it. You can't make any more Van Gogh. Someone decided it's worth money. Value. Someone paid more, and then someone paid more. It can absolutely be just like any other picture, and it would be worth nothing. But today, people use it to store cash and not pay taxes and all that. There's a lot of reasons behind why. People that came over to that, they were just finding out that if I buy it for $1, tomorrow I can sell it for $2 and let me make money off NFT. There was nothing more into it. The idea is that today, if you say that, people would understand you're not wrong. But at the time when you would say, I don't understand though, are you sure? And you would see smart people truly believing that that's a big thing. They would look at you like you're stupid, but they couldn't understand. They couldn't explain why you're stupid. They would just say, you just don't understand. You're old. No, I'm not old. I just see this as tulips. This is tulips, guys. This is the tulips.
You know what's funny? I actually think that if people understood what gives art value better, they would understand what gives or doesn't give NFTs value. And people were thinking that, oh, well, you know.
But they did use a lot of those metrics. I mean, they did put one from.
How did art to get valuable?
I will explain what they did.
Years?
No. I'll tell you what they did. It's not about that. They went to Christie's auction house, which is where they sold the last supposedly Leonardo da Vinci's painting for $500 million. And they put an NFT by Beeple, and they sold it for 67 million. And that changed the whole NFT game, because now you go to a reputable place. So it's not like they knew they know what caused value to art. They just say the old art collectors might not join, but how about we quickly educate people and say, look, this is Christie. Maybe we can bring some of those art collectors and say, hey, listen, it's sold on Christie. There is value into it. Somehow they're able to get that kind of money. Here's a billionaire called Beeple now because he owns all this. And then he got on Joe Rogan. And even then, Joe Rogan's like, I don't understand that. So then if you get one of one, perhaps there is value. But when you go to the majority where you get kids sitting down with...
Well, that's the thing, right? How many Van Goghs are there? How many? There was one individual who painted the Van Goghs, right?
Yeah.
How many NFTs were spun up by kids that have a little bit of design experience?
Look, it's value if someone said it has the value, if someone's willing to pay. It's not because one person painted the Van Gogh. I know we're talking a little bit outside of the thing we promise ourselves we're not, but I mean, if someone said there is value, then there is value. There are plenty of artists. Many of them are talented. Some of them are famous, some are not. I mean, how? I don't really know, but I just ask myself, when I would go and say, I don't understand the whole NFT, how do you go and you pay $250,000 for a Bored Ape Yacht Club where they have 10,000 of those, and it was generated by a computer? How do you feel that this is the real value? It's like the answer is, well, because other people felt there was value. Okay, then that's basically player versus player. Like
it's just luck.
Yeah, it's exactly. One did better marketing, and then when it all goes down, by the end of the day, when no one wants to buy from the last person, it's all going to come down on all of you guys. And oops, here it is, tulips all over again. There is no real value other than that art. So that's tulips. Well, I mean, let's just go and say this, okay? There'll be bubbles that are going to disappear sooner than others. And if you ask yourself, how do you take advantage of a bubble or how do you dodge a bubble? Ask yourself, like, don't try to ride a trend of a bubble. Try to go to something that you know there is real worth into it. And it's hard because there's that part where people go and look at you like you're crazy and you see the people coming in with loads of cash. But remember, this is player versus player. You're just taking someone else's money, right? You're scooping that out and you hope that you can sell it fast enough. This is where you need to understand that looking into a concept a little bit deeper and asking those questions is not bad. And I feel like it's going to take a minute to come up with another bullshit bubble like the NFT. It would take a minute because people get a little bit smarter, they'll forensic a little bit more, they'll check a little bit more because it just happened. But then it's going to happen again, right? But there'll be bubbles. I feel like the next bubble is going to be AI, right? We can talk about that. But it's different because it will prolong. There's just going to be a lot of bad AI tools that are going to be overly invested without any value or product market fit. But there'll be some good that will change the way we live.
All right. Okay, that's it for today. If you enjoyed, please subscribe on YouTube. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can download and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts or on liquidityandliquor.com.